you. It is Thursday. Hello. Welcome to Thursday Stupid Question Day. Chat in the Hat. Every Thursday is a regular feature of Live with Lorielle New, where I put on the genius cap, allowing me to answer any question about any topic in the entire universe with complete accuracy. Guaranteed! According to me. So I hope you have some questions for the genius, and let me say hello to everybody watching on YouTube and Google Hangouts. And if we're watching on YouTube, just a reminder, there is a lag of about a minute. YouTube just started now at this second from when I started talking. Let me say hello to everybody, Allura Star and Shocker and Sturgis and Tesis and House of Dave and Sam and St. Clinton and Eric and Petey and Tim and Ryan and Photo and Philip and Mark Mean and Star Raven and Sam and St. Clinton and Sturgis Guy and Jim Dandy and Red Stapler and N1QOV and Philip. Thank you for checking in. And Marcel and Azure Yusuf and the Cram. Hello. And Bill Nouse and Scott Kimmis and Red Stapler. Thank you for checking in. And Shocker. Let me say hello to everybody. Let me make sure I got everyone. And Wing Doggy. I don't want to forget anyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. So, I hope everybody's feeling good today. It's another awesome, beautiful, sunny day in California. Sorry if you have winter. But, yeah, it's very nice here. It's Thursday, halfway through October. Can you believe that? 2 weeks until Halloween. Just a little over a month from Thanksgiving. What is going on? How did that happen? 2 weeks to Halloween. About 5. Hi, N1QOV. So thank you for checking in. And if you have any questions, the genius is here to answer your questions. Hello. Oh, hi, David Jones. David Jones, if you have trouble with the Google Hangouts, and people often do, I have both YouTube and Google Hangouts open. So I don't know if anyone's having trouble, but sometimes I see people are connecting, disconnecting, because sometimes the Google just kicks people out. So I apologize. I have no control over the Google. Hi, Wing Doggy. Wing Doggy says he didn't do that. He says, what the hell? Yeah, Wing Doggy, the Google is taking over. It's the Trapper Keeper. It's taking over. So, I hope you have the first question, Allura. Alrighty! Woohoo! Allura has the first question of the day for Stupid Question Day. Allura, I certainly hope it's really stupid. Since you're the first one, the pressure is on. Allura says, oh, yes. It's definitely so. Alright, what is your question, Allura Star? Allura Star says, where is Azure Yusuf? You're right. Azure Yusuf has not been here in a while. I don't know. I fear that some people who had been regulars, on the Spreecast never made it over to the Google. And I know that some people, there's been a few people who've had constant, continual technical problems connecting and watching the show with the YouTube and the Google. And I was kind of hoping that it would just, as Google kept improving their system, it would work itself out. But I know there's some people that have never made it over here, and it seems like every time St. Clinton tries to sign in, there is a connectivity problem, which is extremely frustrating because he's very special to us. And I don't know if it's because of Google or the system he's on or my computer or his computer. I have no idea, or a combination of everything, or something in the air in Las Vegas. Don't know, but I do know that there are people who have had problems, and then every day while we're on, there's kind of like mysterious bugs in the system that kick people out for no reason. So I do feel like the Google and the YouTube, we've lost a few regular people for that reason. Laura says I should put a notice up. You know, Laura says, any luck finding a better site than YouTube for the show? I am open to suggestions, Allura. I mean, YouTube hypothetically is supposed to be the set that is growing and developing into the best. But as you can see, we don't see it yet. Hi, Thesis. And when QOV wants to know, what am I drinking? Coffee! My drink of choice. I am just drinking water. I am drinking coffee. Yes, I'm clean living girl. My drugs of choice are coffee and sugar, and by that I mean the real actual coffee and sugar, not a code word for anything else. And I do believe that they are drugs. Coffee and sugar affect your brain and the pleasure centers of your brain in the reward centers of your brain like a drug. I mean, sugar is more addictive than I think any other sub. Like, you give a baby a little bit of sugar and they're hooked for life. Bill says coffee helps him with his spreadsheets. I don't want to completely demonize coffee. I think that you can read lots of different studies, some that say coffee is good, some that say coffee is bad. I think coffee is good. Angie says she drinks decaf. Well, I don't believe in decaf. I think I don't understand the point of the decaf, because the only reason to drink coffee is for the caffeine. Why would you drink coffee without caffeine? I don't like the taste of coffee that much that I would drink it if it wasn't for the caffeine. Laura says Gerald was allergic to caffeine. Well, that's crazy! Does that mean he didn't drink any soda either? Do you know there's also a lot of if you have a problem with caffeine, there's a lot of medicines, like cold medicines, that have caffeine in it. They'll have a combination of acetaminophen and some like a pain And they have caffeine. It'll be a mix of like 3 different things. And caffeine is one of the ingredients in a lot of different cold medicines. A pain reliever, a caffeine, like a nasal decongestant. Angie says she doesn't get jittery now that she switched to decaf. Exactly, Angie, because you're not drinking any caffeine. Which goes back to my original question. What is the point of coffee without caffeine? Coffee is not that delicious without the caffeine. I didn't start drinking coffee until recently. I'd say in the last maybe 7 years. Angie says, "Don't judge me! Don't judge me for my coffee habits!" Said that myself many times, Angie. I'm caffeine judgmental. Sue says she puts almond milk in her coffee. You're funny, Angie. Angie says I'm a judgmental coffee drinking blowhard. That's true, actually. In fact, I like to put that in parentheses after my name because it's such a fitting description. I'm gonna. Angie, Angie's got like Angie, you're funny today. Today you're funny. You're like, I'll cut you. Oh my God, Angie, it's like Angie's already on Funny Friday. I'm sorry, Angie. You're on Funny Friday, and I'm on Stupid Question Day. In case you couldn't tell. In case you could not tell, I'm on Stupid Question Day. And the questions are stupid. Thank you. I like when you get feisty, Angie. Don't laugh at me or I will cut you! Angie, we love you. So, oh wait, Angie, you're not really getting mad. You better be playing, Angie. What are you doing? Oh, stop it. Angie, we're showing you love. Angie, we love you. And one Q. Oh, what? No, Sam's not here. He doesn't want me to say anything, but he's not feeling so well. He hasn't been feeling well, so we'll send out some positivity to our friend Sam and healing vibes. Healing. Hi, Sturgis guy. Thank you for checking in. Great to see you. Hello. So, how is everybody doing today? Oh, remember last week? I know it's supposed to be like Monday when I get up on my post, my soapbox, but I was telling you about the Agent Orange chemical additive that they were trying, the EPA was trying to get past. Monsanto wanted to use, they want to use this increase, instead of just the, it was passed. I was telling you I was very scared and very upset about this chemical that they are trying to get passed to be used on our foods. It's Agent Orange herbicide. Agent Orange as in Vietnam, as in like really horrible bad stuff that messed up Vietnam and messed up all of the soldiers and troops that were exposed to it in the deployment of it. Bad stuff. Yes, it's been approved. Right now, the GMO seeds that they use are called Roundup resistant seeds. They are resistant to the herbicide, the chemical spray that that you spray on for the weeds, the Roundup. It's called Roundup. You can douse these plants with it, and they're not affected by Roundup, and the weeds are. However, the weeds have become resistant. They're taking on the same capabilities as the other seeds, so they needed to increase and amp up to something stronger. So their next choice was Agent Orange. I do not want to eat anything that was grown with trace elements of Agent Orange. Yeah, David Jones says, Agent Orange, for anyone who doesn't know, Agent Orange was a defoliant used to deforest Vietnam. It ended up having severe side effects because Vietnam, when they had this war, was a very lush green jungle forest. So they'd spray this horrible Agent Orange chemical that would like literally just, you spray it on and everything died. My eyes red? I think it's just getting a light or a shadow or something. Sometimes the camera changes colors on this sometimes. But yeah, so for those of you who don't know, so Agent Orange was really bad. I mean, it was the kind of stuff you spray on and it kills a jungle. It doesn't just kill a weed, it killed it sprayed on, it killed a jungle. Super strong stuff. And the guys, all the soldiers, anyone who was exposed to it, the American soldiers, the Vietnamese people who are on the ground, caused severe side effects, cancers, and all kinds of bad stuff affecting the body. So the thought, yeah, and a lot of guys that are in your 50s, anyone who is alive from the Vietnam era, if you had friends that were in that conflict, then you know about Agent Orange, and you know the deadly effect it had on people that were exposed to it. If you're younger, you may not have ever heard of it, but it's this really, really scary, bad chemical. So the thought that they would be putting even tiny dosages and use it as an herbicide to put on our plants and food that we're going to eat is extremely bad, scary stuff. And Wing Doggy says, oh, and well, there's the other thing that's a problem is the antibiotic resistance. What's happening, it's not that it's making us, Wing Doggy, it's not that it's making us resistant to antibiotics. I was watching a program about it the other day. The largest use, I didn't realize this, but like 80%, like a huge percent of all antibiotics used in the US is actually used on farm animals. It's not people that use the most antibiotics, it's farm animals. And it's put into their food. So you have these giant farms. That's when you say you want to look for organic meats and stuff, because you don't want to eat food, milk, or meat, or some eggs from animals that are pumped up with organics, or pumped up with antibiotics. The problem is, say you've got 1,000 chickens. If one chicken gets sick, they're all going to get sick. So the farmers put antibiotics, tons and tons of antibiotics, into the feed of animals in these giant farms. Now, as you know, there's lots of bacteria, E. coli, and all kinds of things that grow in manure and stuff like that in farmers. So what happens with the resistance, the antibiotic resistance, is we're filling the animals up with antibiotics, and the germs are becoming resistant. The germs that live with the animals, the E. coli and all these things, they themselves have become resistant to antibiotics. And it's mostly not because humans are taking so much antibiotics, but because we are growing bacteria that are just like the seeds and the weeds are becoming resistant to the Roundup spray. Well, bacteria are becoming resistant to antibiotics. Now the problem is, if that super E. coli, bacteria, which came from, say, a pig farm, gets into the food supply or the water supply, or gets into human consumption, then that human gets sick with a staph infection, and he goes to the hospital, and that drug is already, that bacteria is already super powerful and stronger than the antibiotics that we would use in the hospital. So, and I was watching a thing the other night. There's a huge increase in areas where there's farming, where there's large farms. Imagine if there's a large farm, there's huge batches of manure from these animals all over, and that gets into the air, the water supply, ground supply. If you live near, in areas where people are living near large farms, there's a huge increase in these like really difficult, untreatable bacteria infections in people, where you get some sort of like E. coli or staph infection or one of these weird germs that's antibiotic resistant, and we're kind of growing them on farms. Hi, St. Clinton. Thesis has a question. Thesis says, where in the nursery rhyme does it say Humpty Dumpty was an egg? It doesn't actually, Thesis. The only reason we see pictures of Humpty Dumpty as an egg is because it's much easier to make a children's nursery rhyme with a broken egg than a broken, busted up child. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty took a great fall. If all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Yeah, Humpty Dumpty was actually a person. The egg is just a cartoon version of it. He cracked his skull open. N1Q, he says university. Yes. The genius is in teaching. At St. Clinton! She says she's always thought of it as an egg. Well, no, it's a we've all seen the same illustration from like children's, I don't know, Disney comics. And if you think of an egg, your head is an egg. Your head is an egg. The skull is a hard shell to protect the soft, mushy inside that is your brain. Wing Doggy says, yeah. And some of you, our brains may be a little hard-boiled. Some of your brains may be pickled. Jesus says, why aren't blueberries blue? They are. Actually, blueberries can range from, they can range from white to purple, white to red to blue to purple, depending on where they are in the growing process. Sturgis Guy says, a farmer was combining corn today. If the combine caught fire, it was really windy today. The combine is a total loss, $250,000 for a new one. Wait, that's not a joke or a question. That's a real statement you're saying, I'm guessing. Well, I hope the farmer got out. Okay. David Jones says, if you're not supposed to abuse cough medicine, why does it come with a shot glass? Well, David Jones, it's funny because the new rap kids, was it Lil Wayne and Justin Bieber and all this, their new thing, their party thing was syrup, codeine cough syrup, like sweet grape codeine cough syrup mixed with like soda, which sounds disgusting. Cough syrup and soda. Allura says it's scissor. I don't even know how to say it. Scissor. Yeah. Another gross, disgusting. Yeah. Yes, cough syrup in soda. So people actually do abuse cough syrup. I know you meant that as a joke, but it's a true thing, and it's not good for you. And speaking of abusing weird drugs, the girl from The Patriot, the actress, she played Mel Gibson's daughter when she was like, I don't know, like 8 or something, and she was like 22-ish. She just died like a month ago. And Sky Bastwick. Apparently she had like prescription drugs, and she was huffing, like sniffing glue, paint, sniffings. It was a whole combination of all these bad things all at once. Yeah, do not put weird chemicals into your body. Yes, another accidental death from a kid trying to party. Actually, not even a kid. She was like 22. She was a young adult, not making adult choices. N1QOV wants to know, what should we eat, brown eggs or white eggs? Actually, it doesn't really, I've read about this before. It doesn't make that much of a difference. Different chickens have different color eggs. Some people used to say that the brown eggs were local eggs and white eggs were not. But generally, as far as eggs go, if you're able to have the option, it's not so much brown or white, it's organic or non-organic. Because like I was saying before, you want to try and buy food from animals that have not been pumped full of hormones, antibiotics, weird growth formulas, or fed really bad stuff, because you don't want to. So if you have a choice, and it costs a lot more, like a dozen eggs that are regular, you can get a dozen eggs for $1, $1.50. If you want organic eggs for a dozen eggs, it's going to be like $5. So it does cost more. Sturgis guy gets free eggs from a farmer. Oh, good. That's fresh. Tisa says, if you accidentally oversalt a dish while it's still cooking, dip a potato slice in it. Well, there's a tip for you. David Jones says, why are American eagles illegal in England and vice versa? Well, I'm going to guess that the reason for importing an exotic animal that would be indigenous from one place and introducing it to another place is that animals that are predators end up killing each other. David Jones says eggs. Like if you introduce, not eagles. Oh, why are American eggs? Oh, because I told you before, why are American eggs illegal in Europe? And because they have laws against all the weird shit we put in our food. They have laws. There's countries like Japan and different countries where they say no GMOs, no, and there's a bunch of chemicals that are allowed in the U.S. Food markets that are not allowed in Europe. In companies, American companies that sell in both places have no problem making a healthier version in one country and still selling the U.S. population the worst version. David Jones says it is illegal to sell eggs in England that have been washed. Yes, I've heard about that. Eggs have a natural protectant around them that prevents them, keeps them safe from antibiotics and stuff like that. And when you wash it off, that gets rinsed off, which is why we end up putting all kinds of weird chemicals in our eggs to prevent disease. In England, they go for a more natural version and say no to the chemicals and just don't watch it. In the U.S., we like pump it full of chemicals, and then we refrigerate it, and we sell our eggs that are maybe a month. Eggs that you're buying in the store may be like a month. Yeah, David Jones says it's illegal to sell eggs in the U.S. unless they've been washed. It's illegal to sell eggs in England that have been washed. It's because of that protective coating. And we'd rather use the chemicals as a protection rather than Iria Sarge, Righteous Sarge. Thank you for checking in. Nice to meet you. And in the U.S., they sell a lot of the eggs that you buy in the store maybe a month or more old, which, you know, in other countries, the eggs you buy are maybe a week old at the most, maybe a few days old if you're getting it from the farmer. Nice to meet you, Righteous Sarge. What part of the world are you from? My name's Lorielle New, and I'm an actress. I'm in Los Angeles, and I am live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 5:15 Los Angeles time on the Google Hangouts and YouTube. You can watch on either channel. And if you're not already following me on Twitter, Sarge, Righteous Sarge says can't say because he's anonymous. That means you're everywhere. Righteous Sarge, there's a lot of questions I have, Righteous Sarge. I want to know the answer. He said, what? I have questions about everything. If you're not already following me on Twitter, please do. That's where I put updates or schedule changes. N1QOB wants to know if my toenails are painted. Yes, they are. Right now they're orange. They're very orange. And my fingers are red. So anyhow, it is already 6 o'clock, so I am just about to sign off. But I will be back tomorrow at 5:15 Los Angeles time on YouTube and Google Hangouts. Tomorrow is Funny Friday, where we share jokes to put everyone in a good mood for the weekend. So I hope you'll be back tomorrow with some jokes. Let me say goodbye to everybody. Allura Star and Shocker and Sturgis Guy and Tisas and House of Dave and Sam and St. Clinton and Eric and Petey and Tim and Ryan and Photo and Philip and Mark Mean and Star Raven and Fairies Lover and Lucky Girl and Angie Jonas and Sam and St. Clinton and N1QOV and Philip. Thank you for checking in on Righteous Sarge and Jim Dandy and Sturgis Guy and N1QOV and Wing Doggy and Redhead. Thank you for checking in. And Bill Mouse and Scott Kimmis and Azure Yusuf and LaCram and Marcel. Great to see you guys. Let me make sure I said how. Kisses for and Tisas. Wing Doggy, I love you. I love you all. I'll see you back tomorrow. Bye. Bye. I love you. Nice to meet you, Sarge.